How can I start or create a website from scratch? How can I start or create a website from scratch? At a bare minimum, you need the following. Of course, HTML and CSS skills, as we've discussed. A text editor, image editor, domain name, and web host. HTML and CSS skills. It goes without saying that you need to have the skills of knowing how to code using the fundamental building blocks of a website, which is HTML and CSS. Other languages, such as JavaScript, are not really required as a beginner, or maybe even never ever, since you can pretty much make a website with just HTML and CSS skills. Advancing your skills through learning other languages is completely optional. If all you want to do is build a simple static website, you can do away with just HTML and CSS. However, it is always a good idea to keep learning advanced languages if you plan on having a career as a web designer or a developer. Text editor. A simple text editor is all you need to build a website from scratch. It's where you will literally type your codes that will make up your website. You can use very basic ones like Notepad, or use something a little fancier like Notepad++, Sublime Text, Atom, or Visual Studio Code. To begin, just use Notepad. Then once you get the hang of it, upgrade to the fancier ones. Image editor. An image editor like GIMP, or even advanced ones like Photoshop, while not a strict requirement in website development, can be very useful. It is very likely that you will have to edit images when building a website. For example, when you want to edit your website images, such as logos, headers, image content, you will need an image editor for that. You may not necessarily make advanced website graphics, but for sure, you will need to crop images at some point in order to make them optimized for the website layout you're going to make. So having an image editor will come in handy, so keep them in your toolbox. Domain name. In order for your website to be accessible from the internet, you will need a domain name, like example.com. You probably already know that, but for the absolute newbies, your domain name is the website address people are going to type in the browser in order to visit your website. Domain names generally cost less than $10 to $15 a year. It is one of the recurring costs of running a website. The other thing is your web host. Web host. Just like domain names, a web host provider is the one who is going to host your website. You can, in theory, host your website using your home computer, but the process of setting up and maintaining it is usually not worth the time and money. Not to mention, it requires advanced server management skills. There are many web hosts out there that can do that job for you, so you don't have to go with all that trouble. A decent basic web host, usually called shared hosting, is available for just about $5 to $10 a month. The monthly web hosting and the yearly domain name fees are the basic costs of running a website. There are free hosting options out there too, but the truth is, they're not going to be as reliable as the paid ones. Also, be careful with those extremely cheap web hosting offers. Sometimes cheap is expensive in the long run. It is generally recommended to get a paid host in the $5 to $10 price range if you want your website to get a reliable and decent uptime. Do you have questions about the video? Leave a comment, or if you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks, and see you in the next videos.